You guys get you over here so I'm not looking. There we go.
We're live.
Dude.
Are we?
Yep.
Great. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
What's up, and welcome to another episode of the Laser Source Podcast. Joined once again, and maybe permanently now, by Michael Mullins of Laser Engraving 911. You're streaming this to your channel right now, bro. It was kind of a last-minute effort, but that's pretty sick, right?
Yeah.
So you can now catch the Laser Source Podcast in multiple destinations on YouTube. So if you're here from Michael's crowd, welcome, and shout out to everybody here in the chat. It's great to see all of you. Lots of conversation going on before the show. We always appreciate you guys lining up to wait for things to start. I'm also joined tonight by Boyce and Kyle. What's up, gentlemen? How you doing?
What up? How we doing?
And I'm home. It feels good to be back, dude. Are you feeling like reset yet, Michael?
Just today, finally, I started to feel a little bit reset. I still have a couple of bags I'm unpacking, but
yeah,
I had I have an avalanche of work that I had to just do Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday to
like
get
shop work.
Yeah, just kind of.
Yeah, I did a final calculation on all of the video that we shot while we were at LIGHTOBJECT in Sacramento, and it was over 450 gigabytes, which is just under half a terabyte of video that we're gonna need to sift through one way or the other. You know, lot of that. Go ahead.
That's a lot of bits.
Yeah, it's a lot of bits. A lot of it, to be fair, like Michael and I would set it to shoot like 120 FPS to get slow-mo shots, and it would just run for like 30 minutes, and we needed like 25 seconds of it. So it's not all usable, but it all still needs to be loaded into RAM at some point and gone through. Yeah. So
and then deleted.
yeah. It's a crazy trip, man. It's a crazy trip. What was a highlight for you, bro?
Dude, I think the highlight for me was just for honestly, dude, I know this is going to sound super corny, but I haven't seen you in so long in person.
I know. It's been a minute.
And it's like with all the lasers and everything going on, yeah, that was cool. But like just to actually have some Alex and me time and just like talk and catch up on stuff, that was the highlight.
I'm surprised you're saying that. Did you see the thumbnail?
Yeah. Well, I'm not talking about day 5.
Yeah, no, dude, day 1, bro. I'm almost done. So I'm almost okay. Just to set the stage, every day that we were in California, Michael and I shot a vlog video. So we'll have like the normal stuff that we went to LIGHTOBJECT to shoot. But on top of that, we did like a daily vlog of like out like a step back from like the A cam, so you can see what's going on behind the scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
And we're leaving the parking lot. And I'm like, man, Michael, he keeps saying that he's going to do all these projects and I don't know where he's going to get the time. And you're just like, bro, I'm fast. Pissed already, dude. It's been like one day. It's so funny. But then, of course, at the end, and you guys will see this, I'll upload the vlog. I wanted it to go up today, and I just didn't finish it. I did like a super quick montage of you like with the tape measure, and you're like, whoop,
oh, nice.
And it's like sick, dude. It looks super cool.
Nice.
But,
nice.
Yeah, dude. That was fun. I really liked seeing you, man, but I was stoked to smash those tubes. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, dude. The tube smashing was and then you live streamed it, and I was like, oh my god, what is he doing?
Yeah, totally like a last second decision, but I just like slapped the live button. It's still up. I'm not editing it or anything, so if you guys want to see that, you don't actually get to see the tubes explode in the live stream because I have the camera that we're live streaming from. It's a phone, and we're up on top of a storage container, and I just kind of like we huck it off, and you hear it explode.
Oh yeah,
you don't see it, and it's like really like digitally mushy and kind of gross looking, and because we had bad reception. Don't worry, Michael and I shot it all in like 4K, like super slow-mo. We have all the angles and stuff, so we'll definitely be publishing some content about just breaking CO2 laser tubes, which is really fun and exciting.
Therapeutic even.
Yeah. If you're not already subscribed to both of our channels, I highly recommend you do so. Michael and I shot separate intros and outros for most of the content that we did while we were there. But the meat and potatoes of it is the same, and we're going to be reusing a lot of the shots, but we're going to be editing it like completely separate. Like, we're not talking about how we're editing the content, so you're going to see things from two like completely different perspectives,
exactly,
which will be really cool. We thought about shooting separate episodes for everything, like just we'll shoot a Michael episode on this, we'll shoot an Alex episode on this. We straight up didn't have time, but there was just so little time to do
so many
anything.
lasers.
We barely got through like the requirement hit list of things that we absolutely had to shoot while we were out there, and there was zero extra time. So we are basically just kind of like it's an experiment to see like how different we look at things, you know, because we have all the same footage. We didn't do a lot of talking. There's going to be a lot of VO. So it'll be really interesting to see kind of like what topics are covered and the different perspectives when putting those episodes together. That's something I'm really excited about.
Yeah. Sorry about the loss of the GoPro. Yeah, that was
yeah. Hey, dude, like you said, it's an excuse for a new GoPro, right?
Oh yeah. Or DJI Pro.
Ooh, yeah, the Osmo Actions, dude. Those are sick. They're tight.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Okay, you guys don't see this very often, at least on my channel. I don't want to speak for you, Michael, but the majority of this trip was funded by Marco, he's the owner of LightObject, and he was majority kind of like funded to fund this trip by SPT and JK, which are two Chinese laser tube manufacturing companies. So he didn't request a lot. He didn't specifically tell us what to do. He just kind of wanted them included. Would you say that's fair, Michael?
Yeah, he wanted us to do a little showcase on them, and then also do some real testing on them, which I don't want to give too much away, but that's going to be a pretty cool bit. We actually got to put them to the test. Yeah,
and we went kind of above and beyond too. We did like I was going for like a car commercial, you know, like we kind of like went ham with it, and we like broke out like all this cool like lighting gear, and Marco had no idea we were doing any of this. We broke out like all this special lighting gear and got all these like extra dope, like super juicy shots of the tubes and machines and like some of their features. So anyway, I'm getting off track. For the first time, you guys are going to notice the sponsored content tag on my videos for all of the main episodes, not the vlogs, but the main episodes that come out of this. And that is why, just because we want to stay compliant. I don't want the smackdown from YouTube. So I would like to kind of bookend, what comes from this trip by saying that Michael and I in no way felt coerced to have any particular opinions or say anything in particular. Marco certainly did not have like scripts ready, but he did pay for the trip. So that's why that little tag is going to be there, because it would have been extraordinarily expensive to do otherwise. So that's it. Just kind of like a little asterisk there on that, so that we're super clear. Again, would you say that statement is fair, Michael? Yeah,
man, I totally. And on each unit that I go over when I release my version of some of these models, I'm gonna talk about my plus and minuses. Not every single unit. I was impressed with all of them, but there are some things that I just maybe thought were not necessary or overkill, or and I'm gonna just speak my real thoughts about them. You know?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep. One of the coolest things that we got to see while we were there was the Saturn network. That was kind of tight. Yeah.
The Saturn is tight.
We talk a lot on the channel about different kind of like laser machines and stuff. The Saturn is one of those CO2 lasers that can like actually cut metal. It's got enough wattage and it's got the air system kind of set up with it with the special heads, so it can cut metal. Being in the industry, I've heard about these machines thousands of times, but actually getting to like watch it like do its job was really cool. It like cuts metal, and you're kind of like, Oh my
And
God.
and that unit was like 200 watts, right?
Yeah.
It
Yep.
wasn't even like 300, which is typically what I've seen. The metal cutters start at like 300 and up.
Yep.
I mean, I remember, I don't know if you remember this, but back when we were in Sonoma County, there was that place in Petaluma that cut metal, and they had an old metal cutting CO2 that was like, I don't know how, it was at least like 2,000 watts.
Yeah.
But it was CO2, and they just kept running it, and they were cutting some pretty thick. Yeah, they were cutting some pretty thick metal with that. So, the 200 watts, just to see it cut the metal was pretty impressive.
Yeah, they had 3 units. I think they had a 200, a 260, and a 300. And I think that we got to use the 260, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the like sparks are flying, and we got it all in slow mo. It's really cool to see. So, yeah, that was fun too. Hotel was nice. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like other comments. We went shopping at Big Lots.
The taco truck.
Oh, dude, the tacos were so good. We got the best, bro. Okay, so I'm in New York. Michael's in Georgia, and neither of us have access to real like taqueria grade Mexican food. So going back to California, where we're both from, was a treat because Joel, shout out to Joel, thank you, Joel. Joel's just like, guys, I'm certified Mexican. Like, I know where the real spots are. Get in my car. We're going to lunch. And we got in this car. Dude, this taco truck was parked outside of like an abandoned like chemical plant that was like in the middle of like a
middle of nowhere, dude. Just like an industrial, dirty.
Dude, and like we got like these 10-pound plates of like food, and it was like $5.
And it was delicious.
Oh, dude, the best. Like I picked up my quesadilla, dude, and it was like dripping wet, like just sopping, dripping wet. Oh my God, dude, it was so good. That was amazing. Yeah, definitely a trip highlight there for sure. For sure. I think that's it for coverage. I don't know if you guys have any questions about Light Object. Now's the time to ask, because Michael and I are both about to fall into a black hole of editing. So
that's true.
If you have any questions about our experience at Light Object, what we did, what we were asked to do, what we produced, anything like that, definitely now is the time. In the meantime, we can talk to chat a little bit. We'll wait for some of those questions to come in. Michael, I'm throwing this one to you, bro. Cuban Cracked. Does anyone have any tips for promoting your laser business, like things that have worked for you? What do you got?
Okay. So one of the things I want everybody to understand is the strongest promotion that you can have for your laser business is word of mouth. So let's just get that out of the way right away. Totally. That is the best. So always trying to be focused on, I don't know if you've ever heard the term, turning people into sneezers, right? A sneezer is someone who loves your stuff so much that anytime someone mentions engraving at a party or anything like that, they're just like, Sonoma laser engraving. Oh God, you gotta, you gotta go check these guys out.
Can't hold it in.
They can't hold it in. They love talking about it. So if you can try to create those, and I understand your question is for just starting out, but I'm saying, like, anytime you think you have run into one of those people who is just you've gone above and beyond, and they think you've gone above and beyond, and you can tell that they're just hyped about your business and what you do, encourage that, somehow, some way, they're already a sneezer and they're going to go out and, just turn them into a sneezer. So there's that. Some other things that have worked for me is, I wouldn't say I've had too much luck with email blasts or, creating an email list. Like, if I'm running some kind of special promotion, maybe during the holidays, that's been kind of helpful.
I think definitely like email lists work better when people have a product to sell, right?
Yeah.
Like if your engraving business like makes a thing like voice, you're selling the thing, done. That's a great way, I think, to reach those customers. But as far as like marketing services, I definitely would agree that it's a tough route to go on that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another good thing is have a great website. It doesn't have to be now I didn't say expensive website. I just said a great website. And you can get those pretty easily now. A website that showcases your best work, all of your services, and is very easy to navigate, and that looks professional. That makes a big difference. And eventually, if you fill that website in the homepage, and maybe it's just a 2 or 3 page website, but if you take the time to fill those parts of that website with good keywords, right, that have to do with what people are looking for, you will find that not right away, but over time, Google will start to, find that and recommend that. So have yourself a good website. Take some great pictures of your best work.
It's a visual industry.
Yeah, it is. Take some great pictures of your best work. Make sure that's one of the first things they see right when they go to your homepage. Make it easy for your people to when they find you, how to get a hold of you. Email here, phone number here, like boom, right there. This is how you got right now. You contact me right now, and then those are good things to start with right there.
I'm gonna throw on top of your sneezers comment too, digital sneezers, bro, because they like so many. So when I started, I went from 0 to 100 really, really quickly, and I tell this story on the podcast a lot. So if you've already heard it, I'm sorry, but I literally launched my business as the COVID shutdown happened. I could not have picked a worse time, and we had to triple down and go really hard in order to make it work. And one thing that every other business in the county wasn't doing, I'm talking about local competitors here, was making an effort to get reviews. They weren't making an effort. If they got one, they got one. Great. It was there, whatever. Dude, put effort into that, collect reviews. People see that you're the most reviewed one. You are golden. You're so good. Sign up if you haven't already. Matt, who couldn't be here tonight, has a great tutorial on the Laser Everything channel about how to set up a Google Maps page, a business page. Set that up. If somebody comes to you and they get work done and they're freaking stoked, give them a tiny little handout or slip or something that says, please leave me a 5-star review. You know what I mean? And just accumulate them, man, because you are going to rocket past everybody else in your industry, in your area, if you're making an effort to get those reviews so quickly. And when people search, dude, the top review shows up whether or not you're paying for advertising. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer, and it's super easy to do. Get those reviews, definitely.
Yeah, and whether you do that ask with a follow-up email with that customer or a card, like Alex said, it's okay to be honest about why you're asking for it too. Don't feel like, dude, don't really let it helps me grow.
It helps my small business.
Helps my small business. It's the best tip you could give me is, people ask me a lot, hey, can I leave you a tip? First thing out of my mouth, best tip I could get is a Google review. Thank you so much. And they do it.
Yeah. Miranda says only give it to the super happy customers, though. Don't ask for reviews from ambivalent customers, which is a good point. Definitely.
Yeah.
Voice, just for a different perspective, bro. You're newish to the scene compared to Michael and I. We're kind of a little older. Have you been doing anything recently that has really kind of accelerated any growth for you?
Well, we're finalizing our Shopify store. Again, I'm not putting anything out until I get a really solid photo of all the products. So I bought some whiteboards and I got our light set up. So I'm trying to work on just getting as many shadows out and watching more videos of Roberto Blake talking about how to make product photography perfect. And there's people out there like that. That's what they do. So I'm just learning more about the camera setup to get the photo is what matters most. Like you said, I'm doubling down on the photography. I'm going to build a little setup here just to set everything up and load them up there. And, we're just using our Facebook page and Instagram for now. And just like Michael was saying, it's word of mouth for me right now. It's all local. Yep. I've mailed a few things out here and there, but nothing too crazy. And setting up pirate ship and all that shit and getting our supplies down this week while I'm off for spring break. I'm trying to get all these little things done I don't have time for.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of
one of the things that I know that we've talked about before on the podcast too, but is worth re-mentioning is really focusing on your local business and getting that to generate revenue funds your outreach to the online market. Because making a successful business online is typically expensive. It costs money. And when you have revenue coming in from local sales, which are typically easier to make, you can use those funds and reinvest them into your business to fund that kind of like global or at least national reach with your service and product. And that's I think that's really important.
Well, like you guys said, the local thing, I'm actually looking ahead already to spring, like July 4th time frame, Memorial Day weekend, art festivals, craft shows and stuff like that. Now we're actually already spending money on the fees, for tables and stuff. So that's how I'm looking at just kind of ramping up local stuff. And actually, I'm going to do a bunch of QR code samples for different businesses and just go give them a little 1 inch by 1 inch or 2 inch by 2 inch, whatever, acrylic QR codes to their website on a keychain. Just give them to them.
Yep.
And say this is stuff, like little things, just, trying to gin up some business.
Yep. I like that too. Jack in the shop says, I got my first sale on Etsy today. Yay. And then he says, I had a $200 sale. Etsy got 50.
in all fairness, so I'm sure at least part of that was sales tax.
Mm-hmm.
And then the remaining part of it was probably their percentage.
Yeah, for sure.
Depending on what state you sold it to.
And like Michael loves to say, the second that you start giving Etsy their money, you start making sales. Michael loves to say, you said that last week.
Sure.
I did. We had that
Yeah.
conversation,
Yeah.
and that's just the reality of it. My advice would be price accordingly, right?
Yeah. There's a way you can do it to where you don't feel it so much after time. But you have to figure out what that number is, and then you're like, okay, I don't even notice it anymore. But yeah, as soon as Alex and I tried all the tricks we knew, all the tricks. We had stellar pictures, SEO, all that stuff. But as soon as I turned on that advertising button, that paid advertising, and set a budget,
Miracle. Yeah.
Miracle.
Yeah.
know,
crazy. Laura, Laser of Love Creations, is asking, light object related, how many lasers did you get to take advantage of using during the trip? I think 5. So we
5
did
or
the
4
Saturn. We played with the Legend. We played with the Falcon. We played with the Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also checked out a prototype fume extractor, the tube testing. Laboratory.
Yeah, if you want to call playing with open laser tubes in a test lab a laser, that was that.
We got to watch Marco design Z-table limit switches from scratch. That was kind of cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was sick. So like 4 or 5 that we really kind of like focused on. We saw them building a fiber laser cutter, which was sick. I think it was a 1.5 kilowatt. And funny story, dude, they were supposed to be single phase. That was like the big thing.
Yeah.
And they shipped him 3-phase.
3-phase.
Yeah. So that's why we didn't get to play with those. We were planning on playing with those.
I was wondering why they stopped building it. Yeah.
They stopped it. Yeah. Because it's not just the power, right? It's like the motors are 3-phase. So like literally everything, it was a whole thing. He's getting the right stuff, but it wasn't done in time for us to play with it. So we really wanted to check that out. Also, if you watch the vlogs, you'll see some really cool footage of Marco's homebrew, like autofocus, live focus module he built for one of his machines that literally, for a CO2 laser, not a metal laser, there's no conducting pieces here. This is a CO2 laser. He literally takes a piece of wood and it like, he's holding it and like moving it up and down, and it like follows it's so cool. So we got to see that laser in action too. We didn't get to play with that one, but we got to see it, and you guys will see that too. So
and I think its main purpose is for people doing a lot of laser cutting.
Yeah,
like you don't have to work. Like if you get that installed on any of the systems that when he finally releases it, basically you don't have to worry about your wood that you had stored in the garage that it's all warped and twisted. Laying it on the bed and cutting out your stuff out of it, forget it. It doesn't matter anymore. Pull a warped piece of wood out of Home Depot for a project, doesn't matter. You just throw it on the bed and it will follow whatever it is.
Right.
Stay in focus. It's pretty cool.
It was really cool.
That's
Of course, as usual with Marco, it was a prototype. So like you can see all the wires and like microchips and like everything just looks like a big kind of like tangled mess. It was really cool looking on photos. It's not something you're going to go to Light Object's website and buy right now, but it worked. It was working. And that was, that alone was like really incredible to see. Love's asking, is that when you were walking through that enormous machine? We walked through a couple enormous machines while we were there. So we'll probably answer that question when we edit the footage. We also got to walk through a literal maze of light object chillers. Like there were so many pallets and they were stacked so
at least
high,
like 7-8 feet high.
You could not see like where you were in the maze, and you could like wander through the maze. We broke the drone out. Michael brought his DJI Mini and like got overhead shots of us like wandering through the mazes, and there's just so much good stuff, guys. There's so much good stuff. I think you're really gonna enjoy some of this content that's coming up. Yeah. We didn't even touch the Explorer, did we?
No, we didn't.
Weird. They did like a demo for us, but we didn't get to play with it. That one had like weird software. I wasn't about to learn new software with our limited time. I if I'm remembering correctly.
If they would have had the cube, I think we would have messed with that.
Dude, the cube was so sick. Yeah. Rip the cube. Yeah. The Explorer is just for those who don't know, a fiber laser cutter that you could probably just barely fit through a standard garage door, and it would eat your whole garage.
Right.
So yeah.
But it's taller than it is longer, so it's not like one of the long laser cutters. It's more of a tall, compact unit. I think it was at 4x4.
Yeah,
takes 4x4 sheets or something like that.
Yep.
But sheets. Pretty industrial that cutter.
Yep. So, sorry. Off on another. Sorry, I'm reading a question and thinking of something else that I was going to say at the same time. But we'll go with the question. Cuban Cracked asks, do any of you guys use 3D printers? I wish I had the time for that. Do any of you guys have 3D printers at all?
Kyle. I know Kyle does. I know he's got one in there somewhere.
I don't actually. I'm in the process of finding one. That when you first dive into a thing, just like lasers, right, where you have literally the internet worth of options, and you don't know what to pick, and maybe picking the fad thing isn't always the right thing for what you want to do or whatever. So it's just another learning curve I'm going through in my non-existent free time. But I'm looking into it. Matt has currently a 3D printer. He has a FL Sun Super Racer, not FL Sun. Yeah, FL Sun Super Racer. No idea if he likes it or not.
Does he use it?
Yeah. He made the most recent project I'm aware of that he made with it was a you know how like glasses have tapers?
Yep.
Or tumblers have tapers. He made a fitting for the bottom of the taper so that it rolls perfectly.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Chill. I don't know. Anybody?
That's what I would use it for. I mean, if I ever got into it, I would use it exclusively to make jigs.
Laser project improvements, modifications.
Just fixtures for my fiber laser stuff, because I get some, especially with these like industrial guys, I get some weird stuff.
Yeah.
And Legos are cool, they work.
And they can send you the STL a lot of the time, I'm sure.
Send the STL, and right now I have a company I work for. I just tell them what to make. I said, hey, you got some highly technical stuff. You got to make me a fixture. And they're like, no problem. Burnt. And I see it and I hold it and I'm like, I wish I could make this.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then there's 3D modeling that you got to learn, as well as the 3D printing and all the little nuances that go with that. I'm a 2D guy right now.
Yeah,
that's literally the goal into why I'm looking into it too. Kind of as a little side project, because I know there's a lot of people who would get a lot out of being able to have that process streamlined to some degree. So
Yeah, for me, it's like the jump to 3D. I don't have space in my head for that, I guess, is like the right way to describe it. Like, I'm just so jam-packed full of like laser crap. Like the whole idea of just starting a whole new thing and adding a third dimension to it, it just like kind of makes me stroke out a little bit. So, probably not in my future, but Kyle's actively on the hunt. And if you want to see some 3D printing, laser related 3D printing content, he's probably going to have some up. I'm sure Michael won't be able to resist forever either. Just knowing him. Michael,
why you got to throw the bus like that, dude?
You're a click the buy button guy.
We'll do it as a team, Michael.
Okay. Yeah, there it is. You guys still have to do your little scanning offset adventure as well, huh?
Yeah, I think we're gonna do it this week. We're gonna get to it.
Yep.
Nice. We had quite the time with scanning offset adjustment. LightObject.
We sure did.
I even called Kyle. I called Kyle while I was at LightObject and I was like, "Bro, please help me." Did I tell you what it ended up being, Kyle?
It was the file driver.
Right? Bad stepper.
Oh,
driver.
Really?
Yeah. Marco's like, "All right, enough of this." And he just starts like ripping things out of the Ranger, like one by one.
He grabbed it. What he ended up doing was grabbing a previous series driver from one of the last shipments just to verify, and he put that in, and it just like solved the problem.
Yeah.
So now he figured it out. The
tolerances were back like under a millimeter on the offset like requirements. So it was good because I was having a heart attack. I was like, oh my God, this Ranger, this thing that I think is so cool. And that
those were some massive adjustments you were putting in there too.
I was so amped to I want to promote products that I like believe in, and that I feel really good about. And that would have been like I can't, like that's too far. So luckily it was just a technical issue, not a feature or quantity of the Ranger.
No.
Yeah. The Ranger works. So, and I thought that was weird because you'd think like after firing mine up, like I would have noticed that, and that never like occurred to me as an issue. So I'm glad I'm also not crazy. So that was an adventure, but the scanning offset adjustment with the bad stepper driver was like 8 millimeters. I mean, it was like gigantic. Like I've never seen anything like it. If you've ever done scanning offset adjustment for a CO2 laser, that's a little ridiculous. So
it's usually like a fraction of a millimeter, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, we got that sorted.
From Germany, where'd it go?
Oops, sorry, we both clicked one at the same time.
From Germany, Thor.
Guten Tag.
Hey.
Yes. What's up, Thor?
Yeah.
Good to see you.
And when will we see some of the results from your visit with Marco and friends? Soon. TM.
Yeah.
If it's good to see you, Big H. Big H is always here. If you missed the beginning of the stream, bro, I was telling people like right at the start, we have over 450 gigabytes, just a little less than half of a terabyte of footage that we need to kind of like sift through, organize, edit, cut into something remotely consumable. So there's a lot.
Right.
But we're gonna start working through it. My first vlog episode's definitely going up tomorrow morning. I'm finishing that tonight. Yeah. All the chippity choppity is done on it. I just need to drop some audio tracks for like my montage ish sequences, and that's going up. So I'll have that up tonight. Michael had a lot of work, I think, to catch up on, like shop work to catch up on when he first walked through the door. But you're starting soonish too, I'm assuming.
I am. Yeah. I can put my customers and existing and new customers on ice for about a week. That's what I've noticed.
Yeah.
And after a week, it starts to get kind of rowdy. So that's about the longest. And that's one of the benefits of, owning your own business and stuff, is if you need to chirp out for a week, you can make it happen.
Yeah.
When you want to, on your time.
Totally.
Yep.
These guys don't let me get away. I have to actually we did the podcast from the hotel. I can never wander too far from work. I've always got to have the command station with me. If you don't know the command station, watch out for that that first vlog. Alex B is asking, any good blanks providers for Mexico? I don't know any, but AliExpress ships like everywhere, right? So when in doubt, when all else fails, you can always hit up that AliExpress for sure.
Mexico actually has a lot of acrylic warehouses and
really?
manufacturers.
Yep.
So a lot of the acrylic that you see down like on the southern half of the US, or a lot of it's imported from Mexico.
No, that's crazy.
So if you ever get into like signage or anything like that, you could probably get acrylic for a reasonable price depending on where you're located.
Yep.
And they'll cut it to size.
Right.
That's the big. You have to get 4x8 sheets.
Yeah.
From Alibaba, it's a bitch, man.
They do a lot of manufacturing in Mexico. I bet if you did some digging, man, you'd probably find some. You might even get some like straight to the source connections for blanks down there.
Good old NAFTA right there.
Yeah.
Hunt around for that, depending on what you're looking for. I'm sure you'll be able to find something nearby you.
I'm not familiar with Mexican internet, but like I'm sure that there is like an AliExpress of Mexico, right? Like that has to exist. That's got to be.
They probably got warehouses.
Like an online.
It's all about SEO.
Yeah, I don't know.
Look for keyword there is wholesale. Look for wholesale Mexico distributors and stuff like that.
Yeah. Google it hard because I'm sure there's something buried in there for sure that we are just not aware of because we're all in the U.S. Quiet chat tonight. We got 55 people on, but not a lot of chat prompts. How are you guys doing in chat? Did everybody have a nice week? I feel really disconnected from like the Laser Everything community because Michael and I have had our heads down. So that always like stresses me out. It makes me feel icky. So hopefully you guys are doing well out there. We heard from oh cool. Hit it up.
Yeah, good question. Cubing again says, sorry to ask me questions, but why do you guys use Photoshop for Corel Draw? Right now, the only programs I work with is Cut Studio and Corel Draw with EasyCAD 2. Right there's your answers, LightBurn.
Dude, go.
That's why.
Watch the episode of the Laser Source podcast we recently did with Darryl Aspin, and listen to his like tirade about Adobe and Adobe software suite, and that will answer your question more succinctly than I think I can. Adobe's professional software for professional designers, and it just works the best, and it's expensive, and we talk about this every week, literally every week. But like if you want to be a professional, you have to pay for professional tools. The workflow is faster, the software is better, it's more accurate. The user interface is more refined. It's updated regularly. There's real support. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. Go listen to that episode with Darryl Aspin for sure.
I was also going to say, Cubing said earlier that he or she is only 18 years old.
Yeah.
So you should probably be a college student, most likely.
Get that student discount.
Get the student discount 100%. You get like I think 25 or 50% off somewhere in there. I get a military discount.
Amount. It's a significant amount.
Yeah,
I got a military discount, which helps me a lot. But
dude, like learn as much as you can about different, I guess, like graphics platforms. Now it's so much easier to like pick up new ones when you're young, and the older you get, the harder it is to like pick up new software. It's kind of like learning a new language. So like really try to absorb as much of this stuff and practice it as much as humanly possible now, because it just gets harder as you get older.
Well, hell, when you're 18 years old, man, all these other free ones are just trying to imitate a part of what Adobe Suite can do.
Yeah,
just one function. Like Adobe Suite, it's worth every dollar if you're actually selling products. It'll pay for itself. Time is money.
Absolutely. And one last time, plug in Darryl Aspin's episode of the podcast, in which we get very vigorously into this discussion and debate, and Darryl sums things up very, very nicely for us. That's a great episode. Great episode.
James Brewer's back in the house.
Word. What's up, James?
Nice.
I got my fiber back together. Upgraded my source to a 50 watt. How did that go? How was aligning the emitter? That's what I want to hear about. I feel like swapping power
from what I recommend, he's coming from a 30 watt too. So that could have been a power supply swap too.
Totally.
Let us know what you swapped and how it went.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a jump from 24 volts to 48 volts. So that'd be a new PSU. But dude, compared to realigning the emitter to the Galvo head, I feel like the power supply swap is just like whatever. I want to hear about the emitter. That's what I want to hear. We should have James on soon. I don't think we've had James on before.
Yeah, he came on
James was on months ago at this point.
I'm back on, just talk about his upgrade experience. I'd love to hear about that.
Dude, Laser of Love, she got her pie burn.
Oh yeah, buddy. Nice. Congratulations. Did you get the grip or just the classic pie burn 4.0?
I think she let us know last week that she ordered both, if I remember correctly.
The Omni setup. Yeah, dope.
For those of the crowd that were interested in 3D design, Jack in the Shop said Fusion 360 isn't hard. Beam It Up said Tinkercad makes it easy. And Dave said Bamboo Lab, Ender 3 V2, CR10 Smart, Anycubic Mono X are all addictive. And the Bamboo Lab X1C is a deadly machine.
Interesting.
Oh, wow. So we got some 3D printers in the house.
Some recommendations. Yeah.
Hey, maybe we should get some 3D people like that. That's a Greek. That's speaking Greek, man. That's like a
totally.
3D. Ugh.
Yeah, that's like a bunch of people reciting their fraternity names. I'm just like, cool.
We got a good question though. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Oh, so we got Jennifer here. She says, should I be having trouble cutting a 1/4-inch MDF with an Arturo LM3?
What wattage? Oh, the 10 watt?
10 watt?
I would be having trouble with that. I was pushing, I think when I did that, I had the 10 watt X Tool D1 Pro that I reviewed. The thickest I went was an 1/8 inch. And unless I went really slow and pushed a lot of air through it, I was having to do that in multiple passes, and that was hardwood. My advice to you would be air, like so much air, like get a big air, like a big boy air compressor and attach it to the air setup on the LM3. The LM3 is a great air setup. It's just sitting right next to me over here, where it actually is like you put the air in the top and it like moves through the body of the laser module and like comes out the nozzle. It's a sick setup, really good design. Pump that thing with a lot of air. You need to blow all the crap that's getting burned out of that area, especially with a diode laser. Diode lasers, the dot size is really, really, really small. So the kerf is really, really, really small. The amount of material you're losing due to the burn. And that means that all of that carbon and like nonsense in there from burning the wood gets stuck in there. You need to push a lot of air, like high pressure air, through that module to blow that stuff out, so that even if you're doing a second pass, like that second pass is actually burning new material, rather than just
cutting
burning the like charcoal or what have you, other nonsense in the way. So that's my suggestion. Air.
Well, and isn't MDF pretty damn dense? Like that's compressed, like.
It is dense, and it's got a lot of adhesives and other stuff put into it to bond that sawdust. It's basically compressed wood particles with all kinds of additives in it to keep it compressed, so that you're also getting through all those additives as well as the wood itself.
Yeah. Totally. Yep. Good advice all around.
Cubing Cracked says he's not sure if he can switch to LightBurn because he has a Laser Star laser with a reskin of EZCAD 2, and he can only pick between 2 lens sizes when he opens the program. So that might be a factor. That might even be worth considering doing some wiring investigation, see if you can swap the board.
I would open it. I mean,
I would look at the board.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, just look at the board.
If it's a reskin of EZCAD 2, the board might be close enough where you might have to do a lot of significant wiring or anything.
It might be an EZCAD board or a Cyclone, more likely, in which case you could just use EZCAD. Or, like Kyle suggested, put an EZCAD 2 board in there. You can get the light boards with rotary support for like $250 tops. like off Cloud Ray, like legit boards, EZCAD 2 boards, and just swippity swap, dude. It's 5 volts, bloop, done. Connect your little serial port connectors back up, and you're rocking and rolling. That would take almost no effort. So,
coming from the Cyclone boards, a lot of people have reported too that they didn't have to rewire anything from going from a Cyclone board to an EZCAD 2 board.
Yeah. Typically,
so unless there's like a weird model change or something, but
yeah, I think the general input pins are in the same locations for both boards. If I am recalling the pinout sheets correctly, they should be like identical. So that would be a really easy swap out for you, for sure.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Mr.
that would be a game changer.
Says it wasn't that hard.
There's a mount on the tunnel. Basically, insert the lens assembly and tighten it down. The hard part was finding a decent deal. Yeah, I always recommend Wavetop if you guys are looking for a laser source. I'm not sure where James got his, but Wavetop Sign off AliExpress always sells genuine laser sources, and they're what I consider like fair market value. So if I'm looking at a machine and I want to see how much of that machine is like the source cost, I will check with Wavetop against the cost of the machine to see how much I'm paying for everything else, that isn't the source, essentially. Sure. So that's typically where I go to look. You may have been able to find a better deal than that, James, but if you guys are looking for a trusted source, Wavetop is usually my go-to.
He says Hawaii, what the hell that is.
Not familiar with them, but good. I'm glad that you found something you're happy with, man. If it works, it works. If it works, it works. Also, Laura says the grip is pre-ordered. So awesome. Laura's got that on the way, which is super cool as well. What do you think of Xtool's new P2 that is coming out? The P2, I feel like I just heard about a P1. Hold on. I'm going to pull that up. You guys can feel free to move on while I do a little research.
It's their for 55 watt CO2.
P2, interesting. Oh, it's like
it's like a small form factor 55 watt.
It's a Glowforge clone.
Sort of, but it's instead of being double-sided, it's, I think everything machinery wise is on the right side and the whole bed is on the left.
It's big.
Kind of like a standard layout.
Ooh, deep B, deep Z on that. Looks like it comes with the RA2 Pro. Standard speeds, 55 watt laser tube. What kind of tube does it have? That's what I want to know.
Without knowing I mean, I'm just looking at like a preview page. It doesn't really have much in specs. I'll keep looking, but it looks deeper than like a Polar would be.
Well, I think it's like, I want to see that shot again where they're opening that. Here it is, the briefcase. It's sitting on a stand in that shot. So it's actually like,
is it?
Yeah, that's like a separate thing.
Got like a pass-through bottom or something?
Yeah. And you can get like an additional piece. Is kind of what
that's
that
cool.
like to me.
Oh, like a riser.
Yeah. Dude, for price, let's see, pay a deposit from $4,999 to $3,999. If that's the deposit, like what?
It's $100 today saves you $1,000 off of the MSRP when it releases. Huh.
I want more.
I need more.
More info.
Yeah, I need more info. It looks neat. It looks like there's some novel stuff going on. They have like that little automatic pass-through thing. That's really chill. This curved surface engraving, they don't really get into detail on the tech behind that.
Oh, but did you see the feeder? Did you see the
automatic pass?
He's doing big old, 5-foot signs with the roller wheel. It's just passing itself through. That's a little bit innovative there.
That's what I'm saying. There's like some novel stuff going on. I would want, first of all, I want to see the price. Second of all, I want to know if they're using an RF tube in this machine, because that's going to significantly weigh on whether or not I would, my opinion is going to sway towards like worth the exorbitant cost or not worth it. And also, I want more information about the software. One of my biggest issues with the X-Tool Creatives or with the X-Tool D1 Pro when I did the review of that was with the X-Tool Creative space, and I've kind of come to distrust X-Tool's marketing a little bit. I don't love it. All of these fancy features, forget LightBurn compatibility, not happening. So you're going to be stuck with X-Tool Creative Space for sure. That would be the one thing that I could say for certain. But outside of that, there's not a lot of detail on this page. It's a lot of really nice, cool looking video clips.
Yeah, it's got a pretty decent sized bed.
Yeah, 24 by what was it? 16?
14.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, more needs to be known.
More needs to be known for sure.
Yeah, Mike's asking if that's Ranger money. Yeah, it's right around the same. It's actually right. It's MSRP without the $1,000 savings if you put up $100 deposit.
And we still don't know what MSRP is on this.
It's $5,000.
Is it?
Yeah, it's got a starting price of $49.99. If you put $100 deposit down, you save $1,000 off that, so it brings it down to $4,000. A Ranger 3, as it comes, is like $4,300 last I checked. So
that's a no-brainer.
You're right in the same ballpark.
Yep.
So at least as a known quantity, we kind of know what to expect with that.
I could make an argument for this maybe if it had an RF tube. Like there might be something there, but or if you're okay with using X-Tool Creative Space, or if you really don't want to learn how to use a laser and you want to just push the X-Tool button to like start job. I mean, like there's reasons to go for this, but I think all in all, for
I'm pretty sure it's not going to have an automated Z. It's just they're just putting it up on a riser to have a deeper Z. So like the Ranger has that Z. So
the Z table,
the Z table,
like with motors and stuff. And got
to know more.
We got to know more for sure. For sure.
Too soon.
Yep. Here's an interesting question. What kind of problems do you have with copyright? Anybody have problems with copyright?
Don't break copyright law and trademark law, and you're good.
Yeah.
Michael and I both got the smackdown from SC.
Yeah, we got the smackdown for some.
We learned that lesson the hard way.
I don't advertise anything I'm doing that's like that. If it's like, when I posted the Harley Davidson bottle opener with the catcher at the bottom, little thing at the bottom, I just said, "Oh man, check this shit out," and I just left it up there. I didn't say it's for sale. You just got to be careful when you say, "Oh, I'll sell you this for $50." Well, then they're gonna come after your ass if they see you. If you're just a small shit like me, then nobody fucking cares. But you just can't market it. Don't be
so the easiest way to understand that is if you're a job shop like me, which is, I mean, for a while we had a store and we were doing some questionable things, and that didn't last long. But now that I'm a job shop, people can come to me all day long and they can ask me to put whatever they want, whatever logo, whatever it is, a sports team, a comic book character, a movie title, whatever it is on their item. And I'm not infringing on copyright. If they go out and sell that at a flea market, they're infringing on copyright. I can't make a bunch of things with copyrighted logos on them and sell them online or to the people, but I'm allowed to decorate their item per their instructions. And once I hand it to them, it's out of my hands. Like whatever they do with it after that is
you're being paid for labor, not for the logo, right?
I used to say that too. And Miranda and my attorney made a very convincing argument that is not the case.
Okay,
and I'm not smart enough to regurgitate that in an understandable way. Law is not my not under my purview. But what I will say is I have since changed my practice, and I was very hard-headed, like 100% on board with your assessment of that until I heard this breakdown of it, essentially. And again, it's not my wheelhouse. I don't understand what I'm talking about well enough to
Now, if somebody came into me with a bunch of blank leather purses and they're like, "Hey, can you put these Gucci logos all over these 150 purses?" Like, I'm going to be like, "Dude, kick rocks." You know what I mean? Like, clearly they have plots and schemes designed for those things. And I've never had anybody come to me with asking for bulk engraving of a corporate or copyrighted logo. I've never had anybody do that.
Yeah.
But have I come and someone asked me to put the Star Wars logo on an item or something like that? Absolutely. You know,
I would say it's
the Mandalorian logo. Definitely done.
I would say it's the thickest of gray areas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're just the absolute thickest of gray areas. And, you know, of course, Miranda's going to chime in because she's always watching. And she says, "This is not legal advice, everyone. Proceed at your own risk." You know what I mean? Right. It's your business. At the end of the day, that's probably going to be up to you. I would also say consult an attorney, right? Talk to a legal professional that can help you make that decision.
There you go.
We can give you anecdotal, you know, stories essentially, but we're not legal experts.
Yeah.
Well, and if you want to stand out, you just got to do your own shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, you got to create your own lane. You know, don't do what everybody else is doing. That's
check out Darryl Aspin. He made a living doing that.
As our buddy Darryl Aspin has said, without a drawing pad and get to scribbling and designing, and you'll eventually come across something that you really love that other people love too.
Yeah. Another good callback to Darryl's episode. If you haven't seen it, one of the best in a long time. On the Laser Source podcast. What a guy. Awesome. And he has, like Miranda, very strong feelings about all of this that you should consume. So go listen to that episode again. Kelly's here. Haven't seen Kelly in a minute. Evening, gents.
Kelly,
back from LO. You definitely have my interest in their products now. Anxious to learn more. Well, we're bringing the heat, man. It's all in the oven. We're cooking it up right now. Gretchen's saying, just don't engrave Mickey Mouse on anything.
Ever.
The mouse will come for you.
That'll be a big target on your back for sure.
They're like, stab you.
That's your ass.
Yeah, totally. And I don't know, guys. We're at 57 minutes. I'd say we've fulfilled our obligation to appear and pretend to be alive for a little bit. Weekend at Bernie's. Bro,
this is an interesting one.
Glowforge Premium has Disney.
Yeah, so Glowforge Premium has like vector stuff.
License.
So
maybe they paid for a license. Maybe they didn't.
Yeah, so it depends on what it is. Hopefully they're passing a license on to the people, and if they're not, then that could be a very bad legal issue.
Oh, yo, hold up. Twitch viewer, what's up, Nate? Where's the link to the live other than Twitch? That's how I found you. So glad you asked, because we're here at the end. It's time to plug all the plugs. You can find the Laser Source podcast at Laser Everything on YouTube, or now Laser Engraving 911 on YouTube. That's Michael's channel. If you haven't subscribed to Michael's channel, go do that immediately, because he's going to be pumping out just as much content from Light Object as I am, with a completely different perspective, completely different take. So go check that out. Absolutely subscribe, hit the notification bell, both of those places. You'll catch all the future live streams, as well as all of the content coming out of our week-long trip from Light Object that we just got back from. Do you have anything else to plug, Michael? I'll just give you the floor for a second. If you've got stuff coming out, I know you've been working on your blog. It's kind of been a thing, right?
Yeah, I've been working on my blog. I've been trying to do more blog posts. Some of the stuff that I've been talking about lately is just some cool gadgets that I've been getting in the shop, and some cool sources for anodized aluminum blanks. So if you do get a chance, check it out at laserengraving911.com. It's just a blog, my blog site, and check out all the recent blogs I've done. I'm trying to write some new articles there, trying to get more on that. Oh, like the little flashlight that Alex is holding. the Arcfeld. That thing is so cool. I think Alex, I made a fan of Alex over the last week with the Arcfeld flashlight. It's
Michael
Michael
essentially forced me to do an unboxing video of it while we were at Light Object.
Yeah.
It's cool. They're sick.
Yeah, dude,
but
it's a super sick little pocket flashlight.
Neither here nor there. So yeah, Michael's blog, that's laserengraving911.com. So make sure you hit up the blog too, and of course Michael's link to his channel is down in the description here, and you're also going to be able to find it on our channel homepage because Michael's one of our favorite channels, and we'll strip there along the bottom. Hit up our social media. Boyce works hard on our social media. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. What else do we post to regularly, Boyce? Those are the big ones, right?
Those are two, and then we're still gonna try and upload more to YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
That's a big pain in the ass.
Yeah, good luck trying to get me to get those uploaded. now that I'm back from Light Object.
All this, it's gonna be a problem.
Kyle's got a bunch of juicy stuff coming out. I'm sure that you've just been like dumping things into the ep edit folder for me, right? So that's
I have
even more to edit on top of the Light Object stuff is Kyle's file.
Gantry crash course projects, preparation and planning for power usage if you're going to a show or doing a mobile setup.
Nice.
Smart control of some of your laser systems like your exhaust and your air assist, chiller. Lots of stuff.
Yeah.
I have one more thing.
Yeah.
I'm on spring break this week, right? With a new puppy. So we're just staying home to work with that fucker. But I'm scheduling with Lek at Eon to do I'm going to do a video footage of the multi-roller being assembled.
Nice.
Then actually testing it and using it. And so I'm going to try and make some content out of that. It's going to be a lot of fucking time.
Yeah.
Nice.
But that's something I can be doing on the side too, just setting up my cameras and just record me assembling the damn thing.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
So I've never seen anybody else doing a lot of multi-roller. I'm not too sure if I'm gonna like it, but
worst case scenario, it's a time lapse, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And,
but yeah, that's something I'm working on.
Yeah, that's great. And as usual, guys, if you are enjoying the content we're putting out here at Laser Everything, please consider subscribing over at the Laser Master Academy. The LMA is the #1 way to support the channel. All of the content that we make available for free for everyone is supported by your members, your fellow members over at the LMA. If you want to find out more details about that, you can hit up masters.lasereverything.net to find out more. And I don't know, go buy some merch. Boyce is going to do the merch pull. There it is. And I think that's all I've got.
Hell
Michael,
yeah.
you good, man?
Dude, I'm solid, dude. That was a good episode. I feel good about tonight. We talked about so many different things.
Yeah, totally. It's time to crack the knuckles, though. We got to put our heads down, and totally one of those for sure. The flex. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep an eye out for that vlog. Smash the notification bell, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good night.